Welcome to ciLiving. I'm your host, Jaclyn Friedlander. October is Fire Prevention Month, and it is never too late to make sure your home is safe and prepared. Lieutenant Matt Quinlan from the Champaign Fire Department is here today with me with the steps that you need to take to keep your home safe. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I know we're sort of getting into candle season and decoration season. So what are a few things that we should be thinking about to keep our homes safe from fire?
So obviously we realize a lot of people like candles nowadays, and they smell good. It makes a house nice. But there's also a very danger level that comes with that. And while we definitely would like to see more of the flameless candles, the battery powered, I think we all have some of those. We do understand people still like the old-fashioned ones. So the best thing we recommend is if you are going to do that, please make sure you keep the space around it clear, and just be very cognizant and diligent of making sure they're out, and just being aware of some of the dangers that could happen, because you're gonna think nothing will happen, and that's when it's gonna come up and bite you. So
sure.
Yes.
Well, and if a fire starts during the day, I feel like a lot of times you'll see it or a neighbor will see it or something like that. But what if a fire starts in the middle of the night? What are some things that we can do to help keep our families safe at night?
So obviously at night, that's when everyone's going to be sleeping. A lot of times the fire department, we stay there 24 hours. So that's why I call it a firehouse, because it's our home. And so everything, obviously the response might take a little longer just for that. We are very good about making sure we're quick. But the best thing on that is have a plan. So have a plan. If a fire happens or anything happens, go over it with your family, everyone that's living with you. And a big thing we talk about is making sure we get out of the house if there is a fire. And when you get out, have a meeting place. Mm-hmm. And obviously, we want you to call 911. And it is very helpful to give as much information as you can. Our coworkers and fellow city employees at MEC had to enjoy that, and they give us the more information.
Sure.
And so tell us what's on fire, what happened, why you're out safely at a meeting point, which could be a mailbox, a tree, just something a little away from the house.
And now what if you kind of get trapped in a room? I remember when I was a kid, under our bed, we had this little fire ladder that you could put on the window. But then I know for a little while they were like, don't give your kids a fire ladder because they could fall trying to get down the ladder. So where do we stand on fire ladders? And also, if you are trapped in a room that's on a second floor or something like that, what do you do? So
one of the big things, especially in regards to a fire spreading at night, if you shut your bedroom door, that will drastically cut down on the movement of the fire. And there's studies have shown that gives more time. And so if you start with that, and then if you are on the second floor and you are unable to get out, the biggest thing you do is find your window, go by that, and wait for us, make sure we can see you, get our attention. And also that, when I talked about when you call 911, that's more specific information you can give us besides just, oh, my house is on fire. You can say, we're all out, or someone is not out, or I'm on the second floor, I'm in a bedroom, I'm looking out my window, I'm at the front of the house, or just give us any information you can. But yeah, if you can get by that window, that's why we have those ladders, and we'll come up and get you.
And then what about pet safety? So if an animal is trapped in the house but everyone's out, or if you're trying to find the pet or things like that, what is the best thing to do when it comes to cats and dogs in a fire situation?
One of the things we always tell the kids when we go to the schools, but it really is for everybody. Your job is to get out, and our job is to go in.
Okay.
And all that we say, your pets, your favorite toy, we will go get that. We will do our best, and we will make sure. So I always tell everybody, that's our job to go get them. It's your job to get out. So
okay.
Yeah, and obviously they say it's cats will hide, dogs will run out, or I think vice versa. I can't remember.
Right.
People always come up with sayings.
Sure.
But yeah, we understand pets are important, and they're important to all of us. Most of us have pets, so we take good care to make sure that we go in there and we will take care of that.
And then as we're getting closer to the holidays this fall, what about when cooking? What are some things that people can do for fire safety in the kitchen? Or, if you're decorating a tree, even if there's not say, open flames on the tree. Sometimes, you know, an electrical short in a line can start a fire. So what are some things people can do with decorations and with cooking?
Obviously, we'll start with cooking. You know, the biggest thing with cooking fires, a lot of times, it's oil. You know, obviously, everybody thinks, let's hit it with some water. That will actually spread it and make it a lot worse. I think the biggest thing I would tell everybody when it comes to cooking, like, just, and I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this sometimes, just pay attention, be there, stay with it, especially if you're gonna leave, you know, make sure everything is cooled down, everything is shut off, it's removed.
Sure.
That is the biggest thing. Obviously, there's a heat source, shut that off. Obviously, you've got a lid to the pot, you can use that. But I always tell everybody, like, still make sure if something would happen, just please get out. We don't want you to stay there and try to fight the fire or anything like that. Electrical stuff, you know, sometimes that's going to happen where we're not even going to see it because it's, you know, something going on behind the wall. The biggest thing is just to be aware, you know, do you smell something? Does you know, sometimes it's like a hot smell, or did something all of a sudden turn off that it shouldn't have? You know, you can look at your outlet. Right. I think it's more just be aware, and we all do it sometimes, just like, that's a weird smell. Well, maybe check that smell out, especially if you know you're going to leave for a while.
Sure.
So that's
check this smell and call 911 if you're in doubt, and it's sort of immediate in the house if it smells like it might be gas or it might be smoldering and smoky.
Right, and it's kind of a rule of thumb. I know obviously we get a lot. The 911 center gets a lot of calls. They do have non-emergency numbers, but if your thought pops into your head like, man, should I call 911? Just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Like we're that's our job. We're going to come out, all the first responders. So.
Yeah. And then my very last question is, what about wood burning fireplaces? Is there anything we need to know to sort of keep our homes safe from that?
Yeah, and I know there's companies that come out there that will, I don't know if I want to call it service them, but check them out, clean them for you, kind of inspect them.
Yeah.
I would say do that. And again, a lot of it is just pay attention to what's going on. If you're gonna, you know, hey, everybody loves a good fire. If you're going to do that, just pay attention, make sure it's out. Don't, you know, just say, oh, I'm going to get up and leave for a while.
Yeah.
Because we all know, like, oh, the 5 minutes turns into 30 minutes. So it's basically just awareness, and be mindful of that, and do some preventative care and maintenance.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for this information. This is really helpful. And just, I think the moral of the story is pay attention, and if you're in doubt, call 911.
Yes. Yep. We're always happy to come out. So,
thank you so much.